Hello and welcome to another edition of Jewelry Deconstructed. I am your host Jerry Livings, and today we are going to talk about why you should make sure all of your steel tools are polished like a mirror. Anything that touches your jewelry metal should be highly polished, without question, period. Now, people will understand if you have a burnisher, why that should be high polished. It's like, well, that's easy, because you're rubbing it on metal and you're trying to put a high finish, quality finish on your jewelry item, whatever it is that you're working on. Or a lot of people will know these as something you rub around a bezel and it will polish right around the gemstone. Now that's pretty standard for a burnisher, but it also goes for every other tool steel item in your shop that touches jewelry metal. So basically there's three reasons. For one, any marks that are in your metal is going to transfer to your jewelry item. If there's a scratch, a ding, a dent, whatever is in that tool will get transferred to the jewelry metal because it is softer. Also, it creates a shorter cleanup. When you're hitting a polished surface on your jewelry metal, it's leaving a surface on the jewelry metal that is closer to a finished polish. So you have shorter cleanup. And three, it's tool quality. Because you're always making sure that everything's polished, you're always looking at the tool and you're making sure that it's in good condition to use. Now, burnishers, like I showed you, are pretty much basic and everybody understands that because that's what you do with a burnisher. Now just make that larger. If you notice my hammers, all of them, regardless of the size, are polished. You can see these polishing really well. You can see the reflection of the ring light in these. I can actually use these to shave, including my forging hammer. This is a 40-ounce forging hammer from Master Mechanic. I've had it for decades, but occasionally I have to polish the face. If you look closely right up in this area, I've got some dings there from, I don't know how I did it, but there's some little marks there. So when I'm forging out a larger piece of metal, brass or copper or whatever, these marks end up in my metal. So what I have to do is literally grind this down, and then I'm going to just keep sanding it, sanding it, sanding it. I usually start with 220 and then move up through 400, 600, 800, and then I move to either 1000, or I'll go straight to on something this big, I'll probably go straight to a steel polishing compound. Excuse me, that popped out of nowhere, probably because it's late and I'm doing this. Now, it's not just the small tools in your hammers, it's your large tools as well. If you have a bunch of stakes or metal forms that you form metal into, make sure those are as highly polished as possible before you use them, because the same standard applies. Any marks that are on the tool are going to be transferred to your jewelry metal. So make sure that you always have a highly polished tool before you start hammering on jewelry metal. Now, what I could do as an example, and I thought long and hard about this, is I could take a piece of metal, hammer it with a polished piece or beat up hammer, and then go to the microscope and show you the difference under the microscope, and it's not going to work as well as what I worked out. What I'm going to use is I picked this hammer up, it's an auto body hammer. You can see the face here is kind of rusty and needs work. So let me look at my monitor here. There you go. You can kind of see it there. It's it's pretty trashed. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using this end, we're going to use this end as an example of working on metal. So to make it real easy to see and understand, we're going to go to my old fallback, Play-Doh. You'd be amazed at how easy it is to use Play-Doh to demonstrate a technique or process in the shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. We're going to just flatten this here a little bit. Okay, here we go. Now you can see that this is a nice flat surface. We're going to switch to the bench pin here. Bench pin camera. Okay, I don't have my bench pin here, but actually let's use the bench pin. So, okay, we'll flip this over. So we're going to put this on the bench pin. Now say this is a piece of jewelry metal and I'm going to hammer on it. Okay, so if I use a tool that's well polished, and we're going to use this, and we're going to press that in, you can see that the mark that's left here is fairly uniform, and it's nice, and it's the same shape as the face, and it's a really nice smooth polish. Now if I do it with a hammer that's not polished, what you get, and I'm trying to pull this off because that really sticks. Okay, and you can see it here. I'm not sure how well, but you can see the difference in the shadow right here. The whole pattern is in there. So let's switch back, and we're going to try and hold this up to the camera. And okay, I guess the focus is here. Let's see if we can focus this in a little bit. There you go. See how all that pattern is versus the other one. This is nice and smooth. This one here, lots of hills and valleys. Now all of that to get a shiny surface, you have to work and abrade that and sand it down and grind it down and then polish to get the surface that you started with the other one. So you can see the difference there. Okay, come on. This is not an autofocus camera, so I have to get it right at the right length. Yep, there you can. You can see, come on, quit shaking. So this is why you always want to make sure your tools are polished, just to prevent this. You want this ideally, not that. So always make sure your tools are polished. It takes only a little bit of time every day to look at your tools and make sure they're in proper working shape, and that goes also to the quality of your workmanship. People see you working with high quality tools, they're going to think that your work quality is a higher quality as well. So always have high quality tools that are clean and well maintained. Thank you very much. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, so follow my links, which I will be putting on the video, and share this around. Follow me on YouTube, follow my Facebook page, which I'm going to list, and follow my blog at Jewelry Deconstructed at Livingston Jewelers. Thank you very much, and you have a good evening.